Welcome, my dear viewer, to Dr. Paul M. Kebicho, PhD, QB, HSC official YouTube channel. I salute all of you from wherever you are. It is my hope that the good Lord has taken good care of you and that you're still pushing this life forward despite what we are currently experiencing in our Republic of Kenya. It is our hope that the issues that have been raised by all and sundry will be considered, and I believe the government of the day will be able to act accordingly so that we may not continually lose the billions of shillings we are losing per day as a result of the current protests. And as a consultant, it is important that we look at a few things that can make life more bearable for all of us. Most of us people, we are employers. We employ people to come and work in our organizations. We have employees, but we need to look at a few things, whether at government level, whether at individual level. What are some of the characteristics that we are supposed to look at when we are hiring our employees to work for us? Because many of us have made mistakes in their lives when it comes to actually even employing people. I want us to be very, very particular. When it comes to employing people, sorry for that, we have got some individuals who do not have the right people working for them. Number one, I'm going to say this, and this can be applied across, whether in a big parastatal, whether in a republic, whatever kind of an organization that one is, you can be able to use whatever I'll be teaching you today. And for those who may be wondering whether I am going to an area which is not my area, I hold a minor in Hishar, a minor in Hishar. My first degree, major business finance, and of course a minor in Hishar. So we are talking about who is a professional. A professional, number one, must have the right appearance. We are not saying that you have to look beautiful. We are not saying that you have to look handsome. We are saying you must have a tidy appearance. So anybody who has been given a job of whatever nature must have the right appearance so that the dress code is okay, the looks are okay, and this person is actually cut for the job. So you don't just bring anybody in your organization. You must ask yourself, what kind of job are you doing? And therefore, you need to ensure the person has a tidy appearance and is one who has proper professional dress code. So dress the person as per the job. The other thing that we have to look at is what we call manners. The person must be polite. We have had some people employed in organizations who go insulting their employees. The moment you start insulting an employee, you are basically killing production. Because you see, for you to be able to get maximum output from an employee, you must recognize him or her. And that's why we are saying a good professional must be of good manners. Good manners. One has to be polite and well spoken, has respect for everyone, including the juniors. Please never, and I'm telling people who employ other people, kindly do not go demeaning those people. They are human beings, no lesser than you. In fact, they have all the faculties that you have. The only thing that you do not have in common is the privilege that God has given you. The fact that I'm the CEO of Panorama Consulting Company does not mean that I start looking upon my secretary. Does not mean that I look upon my admin. No, it means that I have to respect them because they are part and parcel of this system that I work for. So they must be people who are polite, well-spoken, respectful to everyone, including their junior staff. We have had some cases in Kenya where people, when they become leaders, they go insulting anyone. They go speaking anyhow. As a matter of fact, the only thing that they do is that they depict a pale picture of the employer, because the employer must make sure the person he or she is bringing on board is a man of good manners. We have had some MPs, sorry to mention, in the Republic of Kenya who speak anyhow, who have got no moral authority even to be called an honorable member of parliament. Because an honorable member of parliament, for instance, I'm using this one as an example, should actually work within the confinement of the word honorable. So what makes you to become honorable is basically your manners. So if you have no manners, there is no relationship between the name honorable and the character that you are. So protect your manners. The third thing, which is key, and I'm requesting even the government of the day, I do not know where they draw their counsel from, is competence. If, for instance, You have employed me to be the CS environment. My academic qualifications must oscillate from in that particular discipline. How do you make me to be, for instance, a CS environment and I'm an accountant? Yes, there must be a strong relationship between the career that I'm doing. How do I employ a HR manager who has done a course in animal veterinary medicine? There's no relationship. And therefore, more often than not, we'll be realizing that mistakes will be coming from that particular department because when it comes to competence, the background upon which this particular employee is working from is not matching with his competence. So we talk about competence in their field or in the field of their job. They have to be competent. Allow me to talk about competence once again. Why do we ask for, when we are actually advertising a job, we give what we call the qualifications. We are looking for this particular individual so that this one can fit into a given organization. Why do we give those particular qualifications? So when we are looking for an accountant, we normally say this person must be a CPAK holder, must be a BCom account holder, must be a CPK. So we normally give what we call the qualifications so that they can match and fit the job upon which this person is being hired for. Now, how do you explain when somebody, for instance, was an academic failure and you want him to be in the academic background or to be holding a docket which is more academic oriented? You are actually transferring failure to that particular field and don't expect any good results. So competence is also a very key characteristic of a profession. The other thing is what we call reliable. We require somebody to be so reliable, reliability, somebody who will always be exceeding expectations, and somebody who is not going to give excuses when it comes to handling that particular docket. We require an individual, when given that particular job, will not be hanging his coat or her bag in the office or in the name of assuming that the coat or the bag will be working on his or her behalf. That is total madness. So we require somebody who is reliable, somebody whose report can be relied on, somebody who is giving facts as they are and articulating issues in a manner like to generate a report which can be relied on. We require somebody who has ethics. Many employees, many people work in various organizations, they don't have ethics. We require somebody who will be able to adhere to industry-wide ethical codes, following correct procedures, and being accountable for their actions. So when you talk about ethics, ethics means if somebody has been given a docket, for instance, of procuring, you only procure what is necessary and in total respect of the specifications. If, for instance, you are ordering for drugs, it would be criminal for you to go ordering drugs whose expiry date has only 3 days to go. So unless we have what we call a pandemic, which requires consumption of those drugs within those 3 days, it is criminal for you to bring drugs which you know after 4 or 5 days will be declared, uh, 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 which will be declared expired. It's illegal. So we require somebody who has ethics. Then we also require number 6, somebody with the poise. Poise. Somebody who can remain calm despite the environment being very, very harsh for him or her. So we require somebody who can actually remain calm and focused even in challenging, stressful situations. Somebody who can be able to manage his anger. Somebody who can be able, for instance, to withstand and bear temperatures when they're a little bit high in terms of operations. So we require somebody who has that poise, somebody who is calm, and somebody who appreciates that moment bad times comes and go. The other thing is communication. Very, very key communication. We require somebody with appropriate communication skills, both verbally and written. So anytime an organization wants to pass some information to its members of staff, the content and the context must meet the expected message to be delivered to the employees. So a professional, therefore, must be able to communicate accurately and appropriately so that nobody can say there was a bit of distortion in the medium of information delivery. So we require somebody who can be able to communicate to an organization without compromising or rather without creating confusion which is unnecessary. The other thing that we require is somebody organized. Somebody organized, being well organized, especially when handling multiple tasks and priorities. Somebody who knows what it means to manage time properly. Somebody who knows what is to prioritize. Allow me first to talk about timing, organization. There comes a time in life where you must ensure that whatever information you are releasing is timely, following the order of priority, and keeping the workstation very, very tidy and responding to others promptly. So somebody who is organized, meaning that you do not at any given time put the organization in jeopardy by virtue of your by virtue of your failures in terms of delivering the information required, not even the information, even the report. How do you prepare the template of report delivery? Or the template which is used in reporting must meet certain threshold that communicates to the consumers of that information. What about accountability? You must be an accountable person. Accountability basically means the resources that have been given unto you must be used to meet the expected outcomes. So if you have been given a budget, that budget must be used within the purview of meeting the expected delivery of certain pillars in an organization. Very, very key. We do not want somebody who will compromise in terms of embezzling those funds from the kitty at the expense of the expected delivery of the pillars. Finally, timeliness. We require somebody who knows when is it appropriate. For instance, today I was reading the newspaper. I felt so bad about it that members of parliament are going to get a salary increment, including other government officers. When there has been those kind of protests, it does not matter when that information was or when that was supposed to be implemented, but somebody who understands how the ground is. The ground basically means we have protests right now in Kenya because people are saying we don't have money, because people are saying the finance bill was not good. Then how on earth can somebody come telling us that we are going to give a salary increment to this kind of people in the government sector? It is totally unpalatable. It is unacceptable. It is somebody who is totally unreasonable because that is only going to worsen the situation. So timeliness. At what point do you release certain information? It is key. And I don't know what happens to most of us people because we ignore that. That's a very, very critical thing. At this point in time, nobody was supposed to come and whip the emotions of people. It is that was bad. Communication is key, sorry. Communication is key. At what point was this information supposed to have been relayed? As a matter of fact, even the Salaries Remuneration Commission would not, if I were them, if I were their advisors, I would have told them they keep that particular wish or step of communicating, giving salary increment to people when we have protests on the streets. So timeliness, it is key. So when you're getting an employer, don't just employ somebody because of who he is to you. I also have brothers that I can employ in my office. No, but I can't employ them here because they do not meet they have no competencies. Again, there is this issue of what we call determinism. There's no point of you having individuals in your organization whom you know they will not be able to deliver. So it is not about your relative. It is not about your intimate relationships. Because if I employ a girlfriend in my office, I'll never reprimand him. I'll never reprimand her. So that compromises and jeopardizes my organization. I'm not supposed to employ my relative or in the name of, because we have had scenarios in Kenya where you hear a whole state department has family members. That is totally unacceptable. It is even unconstitutional. People must be employed based on merit, not on how close. There is no issue of political legitimate expectations, nothing, because political legitimate expectations will compromise and hinder your delivery of services that maybe you gave as your promise. So ensure that you have professionals working for you. At any given time, ensure you have professionals. Hire professionals. I remember one day, the former CEO of Kenya Anti-Corruption Authority, Aaron Higera, said, employ monkeys, pay peanuts, employ monkeys. Pay well, employ brains. What are we looking for? We are not looking whom we are related to. We are looking at the output. So the output is the determining factor. And therefore, if you require to get the desired result, you do not have to bring somebody on board because he's your relative, because he's whoever to you. No, 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 no. You bring somebody on board because he meets your expectations, because this person is properly trained. And that is my position, and that is what I would urge people to look for. So if you have not listened to my entire program, it will be on my YouTube channel. Kindly subscribe and kindly pass it to quite a number of people. I'm coming back shortly so that I can talk on something else. May God bless you for being part and parcel of my YouTube channel. God bless you. Thank you very much. Those people who watched me. Michael Media, thank you very much. Sari, once again, thank you very much. Life Facts, thank you. And those others will be joining me. Thank you. God bless.